you very much, Robert, for invitation. I hope you can see my slides now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So at first, I want to put my hands on about Andrei Sudov. So I told he described the German law we will get next year. So we were very surprised about the speed the German government put on, and suddenly they made the decision, change the law a little bit, and or in some parts. And so it was very surprising that we got the legislation faster than announced before. So that at first. Robert, you asked me to show how employee ownership looks like in Germany and in Austria. So I called my presentation the German style and the Austrian style of employee ownership. But before I start, some words about me. So I'm working as a consultant here in Germany and in Austria, and I'm working on the whole area of compensation. So starting by base salary up to value credits. So we call it Lebensarbeitszeitkonten. It's another German special type of compensation. So, and I'm 20 years in business, and I started with employee ownership, and that is really my very famous part I'm working in. So, but now to the German field of employee ownership, how does it look like? So in the center of the system of employee ownership in Germany, we call it Mitarbeiterbeteiligung, is the employee stocks ownership program. So I put it into brackets because we are not only working in stocks, we are working in the stocks and some other fields I will show you later on. And maybe that's a very special part of a German employee ownership system. So Jan, you told us before, it's a negative point that some people have to go into stocks and have to deal with capital markets, with everything that is dealing with stocks and with high volatility and everything. And so we are able in Germany to take some parts out to make employee ownership adequate to some people who don't deal into stocks, who are on a lower level, on a lower intellectual level. And if we work on employee ownership programs, so very often we combine these programs with profit sharing. So we put profit sharing in the first steps, and we take some money out of profit sharing models and put this money into the employee ownership program. So that is very often done in Germany. And maybe we combine this way with saving grants given by the employer, and giving these employer grants based on this financial subsidies, we have seen before. They are written, they are based on the text law, paragraph 3.39, and there we have now that are the very last figures, an absolute level of 2,000 euros per year. So we can give as in forms of grants or in forms of profit sharing, 2,000 euros per person per year, tax-free and free of social contribution, social security contribution to the employers, and put this money into employee stock programs. So that's one part. What Andre showed us before the additional way of legislation, or the additional legislation, the 19A tax law, Einkommensteuergesetz, is a law that is focused on startups, on younger firms which are formed 50 years or younger in the past. So not very old firms, so just smaller firms and just more startup firms. So what we have in addition, you see on the right side, there's some space left. We will fill that now. We have in Germany another special type that's a kind of, we call it vermögenswirksame Leistung. So if we try to convert it into English, we would call it capital accumulation benefits. These benefits very often are fixed in collective agreements with a so in collective agreements, and these benefits, sometimes they are paid by the company, by the employer, sometimes they are paid by the employees, so it might change, and they are based on the Vermögensbildungsgesetz, on the fifth Vermögensbildungsgesetz, and they are limited on a level of 400 euros per year, so not very much, but they are really focused on people who haven't got high incomes, so we can use these capital accumulation benefits on a level where people earn less than 40,000 euros per year if they are taxed alone, or 80,000 euros if they taxed in a couple. And if you're under these limits, you have the possibility to get a bonus in the 6th year, and this bonus is 20% on the money you had paid in. So maybe 20% on the maximum level of on 400 euros. So you can take these capital accumulation benefits to pay in the employer ownership program. You can take these capital accumulation benefits to pay in usual stock funds for investment in other firms, for building saving contracts, for retirement programs, or whatever. So in Germany, very many people don't know that we can use this capital accumulation benefits to pay in employee ownership. So that's very unknown. So that's a situation in Germany, how it looks like. And if we take a look on Austria, it looks a little bit different. So there we haven't got these capital accumulation benefits on the right side. So there it looks like we have profit sharing saving grants. We can put these together in employer ownership programs. We have another level of tax subsidies, so a bit higher than in Germany. So in Germany, we expected 5,000 next year, but we didn't get 5,000. We only got 2,000, but 2,000 is more than the 1,440 we had this year and before. So in Austria, they are a little bit ahead to us. They have the possibility to get 3,000 tax-free and free of social security contributions. And they have another law, another extension in their law. They have the possibility, if the firm is a foundation, So there are tax-free 4,500. So this is the so-called West-Alpine law in addition. So what is the possibility? Where can we put in the money? If we take a look on that, we can put in the money in, for example, equity, and that's a point Jan told us. So if people are forced to go into stocks, that's the way we can do here. Or we can do another sort of engagement, of capital engagement. We can use mezzanine ownership programs, or the third level we can use is that people are engaged by debt if they give a debt contract to the firm by employee ownership. So if we go on the first level, we have three different parts we can use. We can go into stocks, we can use into limited shares, we can go in cooperatives into cooperative shares. So all these forms are covered by the German tax law, and all three forms are tax-free up to, as I told, 2,000 euros next year. So, and if we don't want to go into stocks, if we believe stocks are a little bit too much, are a little bit intellectual, too much for our employees, we, for example, we go a little level lower. We take, for example, a mezzanine engagements, and there we can use three other sorts of engagement. For example, as if we try to convert it into English, we take a silent partnership, a stille Beteiligung, or we go into a Genussrecht, that is comparable to the stille Beteiligung, a little bit different, but it would be too much to explain the difference here because the time would run away. These Genussrechte, as we call them in Germany, in Austria, they are called Partizipationsschein, so they have another word for the same system. And we can use both the stille Beteiligung and the Genussrecht of a silent partnership and the profit participation certificate in an indirect way, so that we put a company, a certain engagement company between the employer and the employees. I will show you later on. And the next level we can go in is the debt level, the debt form of engagement. So here we can use fixed loans, fixed interest loans. We can use loans with variable interest. We can use subordinated loans. We can use bonds. We can use convertible bonds. All these are covered by the German tax law, and all these engagements are tax-free up to 2,000 euros. So if we take a look on the debt level, so in Austria we cannot go into debt, so that is not covered by the Austrian law. So they have their 3,000 euros tax-free. We have just 2,000, but the Austrians haven't got the debt level, so we have. So that's the difference between Austria and us. So we're comparable, but we're not quite the same. And so for the last, and if I just put all this together in an example how we can use all this in reality. Just one example I did some years ago in an IT company in Jena, East Germany. So there IT company was new founded, and the founders had the idea, so we just want to engage our people, we just want to engage our employees. They should take part in our general meeting, and they should take part in our general meeting by 50%, as we as a founder. So founders should get 50% and employees should get 50%. And we wanted to divide these employees part into two groups. One part, the first half, the first 25% should go to the management, and we took them in the field by on the equity level form. So they got direct stocks, and so we got an direct engagement. And the other employees, the non-management, we put on another level, so on a lower intellectual level. We put them on a mezzanine level, and that worked in that form that they took a silent partnership, put this silent partnership into another little firm that is just responsible for accumulation of the money. We call it Employee Participation Limited, and there we collected all these employee money, and bought the rest of the 25% of the stock of the stocks of a company. So these rest of these non-management people, the employees, so they are organized in the general meeting in one group. So they have they are all put together, and they are not engaged in the general meeting by every employee. So we achieved by that the general meeting is more handleable. Okay, so that's for me in a short trip to the German law. So as Jan did, I want to show another book if you want to read about the German system on employer ownership, but unfortunately written in German. It's a book I did together with my colleague Hans Schneider. He's very long into employee ownership. So that's for me. Thank you very much.
Okay,